What's up, Mr. Curiosity? Even after years of watching countless documentaries, television shows, and online media, some things still surprise us. Maybe it's because over 7 billion people have instant internet access, so we can encounter anything, anytime. From satisfying, super interesting videos that you probably have never seen, to images of nature with explanations behind them that will surprise you. Even if you think you've seen everything, there's always something new, and that's why Senor Curiosity is here. Here are 20 things you'll see for the first time in your life. We know that in Africa, due to many wild animals and ongoing battles with poachers, many foundations focus on rescuing and helping animals in need. And in this case, we are in Kenya, where a poor baby elephant had been abandoned by its herd and had to be rescued by some park rangers. But not just in any way. They put it in a helicopter as if it were a little puppy and took it to a center for its recovery. Nature constantly amazes us, especially underwater, where we often discover new species or behaviors. Even if you've watched documentaries or diving videos, I'm sure you've never seen a crab using a jellyfish for protection. This clever crab managed to catch a jellyfish and placed it on its shell, which not only gives it a great disguise, but also allows it to scare away its predators. Well thought out, Crab 3. If you've ever been to a construction site, you may have seen strict safety measures and workers wearing them, or at least they should wear a reflective vest, safety shoes, and most importantly, a helmet. If you're curious, you might wonder why they use a helmet. How effective is a plastic cover for our head? This video shows how a simple helmet can amazingly save your life. If our head were that watermelon, a screw falling from a certain height would completely smash it. Wearing the helmet would keep us safe and let us keep watching Mr. Curiosity 4 videos. Zoos and captive animals have been criticized for years. So what's the best way to see wild animals now? Either through documentaries or safaris in Africa, where we don't lock up animals. Even if you visit Africa to see elephants roaming free, few people are lucky enough to wake up in a hotel like this, where a large herd of elephants had come at 6 in the morning to drink from the pool, giving this incredible sight to a group of tourists. Good morning, Dumbo. 5. When we think of a river, we think of a huge mass of water that we can navigate. And if we think of ducks, most people picture a friendly duck floating on the water. What if I told you Vietnam has rivers full of ducks? Yes, exactly like you heard. This is how thousands of ducks live on various farms in Vietnam, and moving them always causes a stampede. 6. The famous travel company El Espacio SpaceX managed to develop technology that allows it to recover and reuse its Falcon rockets. This saves hundreds of millions of dollars and ensures these parts return to Earth instead of floating in space. Everything we send ends up floating out there, as this animation shows. The red dots are satellites, while the blue and gray ones are space debris. And in case you were wondering, yes, every time a spacecraft or satellite is launched into space, the perfect trajectory is calculated to avoid crashing into all this space debris. That sounds dangerous. Johnny 7. At school, we have a wide variety of subjects, and for most of us who are curious, subjects like chemistry were interesting, especially if we had the chance to do experiments in a laboratory. And in this case, we have a balloon that, after being submerged in liquid nitrogen, will start to regain its temperature, and the gases inside it will begin to expand, giving us this very curious video. 8. Bears are wild animals that, despite their large size and huge claws, still have a good image among people. Maybe it's because of curious videos like this one. Don't worry, it's not going to eat him, at least not yet. In 2014, tourists at the Budapest Zoo captured the moment a brown bear rescued a crow from drowning in its enclosure's pond. 9. Australia is a country known for its vast landscapes and nature. Most of us have probably been to a beach and felt sand blown by the wind hitting our faces. Few have witnessed massive sand and dust storms like those in Australia. This British tourist couple was traveling along a road in the land of kangaroos when they had to stop to appreciate such a spectacle. But after a few seconds, they realized how dangerous it could be and got inside the car while the storm continued on its way. Get inside, kids. 10. One of the main problems humans face today is pollution and environmental destruction. In India, a massive forest unexpectedly appeared in the desert a few years ago, surprising everyone. It's clear it wasn't made by magic. The answer was in Majuli Kadapayan. Over 30 years ago, a man began planting trees and plants daily to restore part of his village. Today, this forest is bigger than Central Park and has managed to become home to thousands of animals. 2020, the year of disasters, apocalypse, and every imaginable catastrophe. After all this, if we see strange lights in the sky one night, many people will run to hide in a bunker. Don't worry, they're not alien ships, at least that's what we were told. Two poets created these striking lights, launched by National Aeronautics and Space Administration in 2019 from the Andorra Space Center. These rockets were part of the Azure mission, which aimed to measure the temperature, pressure, and other very scientific aspects of our planet. Those lights formed because gases and substances released during the research created this strange effect. I think it was the aliens. 12. Imagine diving and suddenly seeing this right in front of you. A professional diver named Elfan Eddingen was swimming on a coral reef in Thailand when this strange being appeared floating. Called feather stars, or sea lilies, they're usually attached to rocks or corals. So seeing them swim in open ocean is uncommon. 13. We've all seen a sheep and a rhinoceros at some point, even if just in documentaries or videos. But have you ever seen a sheep rhinoceros? Yes, a simple rhinoceros, but it was raised with a group of sheep, and it ended up a little traumatized, and now it behaves like one of them. In the video, it jumps and runs like any other sheep, which is both adorable and curious. So cute. Some people like cold and snow, while others prefer heat and the beach. While icy climates can be tough, they can also be lots of fun. And even though you've seen snowmen and big ice sculpture contests, I'm sure you've never seen the annual contest for the world's largest ice carousel. In Finland, they cut a massive 180-meter disc that spins for minutes floating on a lake. 15. For millennia, humans have created you in many different ways. When someone mentions an artist, we usually think of a person. Painting a picture, we have to know that there are endless possibilities to create an image. For example, artist Steven Spazuk paints not with paint, but with fire. Using a candle, lighter, or any flame, this talented man shapes designs on paper. Be careful, Steven. 16. When we imagine marine animals, we all think of fish, sharks, whales, but I don't think many people think of alpas. Yeah, this big worm you're seeing is actually a large group of salps, little transparent animals that join together to move better. And when the area they're in is rich in phytoplankton, they separate so they can feed. 17. Planet Earth might seem infinite, and we come across species that are simply incredible. What you're seeing isn't a computer-generated image, and it's not an alien worm either. This is a caterpillar of a rare moth species. They are mainly found in Brazil's Amazon rainforest, and their transparent skin reveals their internal organs. What we see moving is their complex respiratory system. Unless you're a caterpillar expert, this amazes everyone. What a strange thing, ma'am. Nature 18. When we want to read a book, we search online or visit a library, but I'm sure you've never seen a human library. Yes. A group of friends from Denmark decided to create a platform in the year 2000 so that thousands of people with interesting stories could share them with thousands of others who were interested. Like a book, the idea succeeded and spread to many countries worldwide. 19. When we go to the beach, we usually entertain ourselves by making sandcastles or sand sculptures. Unless you're an expert, most are usually simple creations. However, in this world, you can specialize in anything. And today we meet Jahan Benjamin, a Frenchman who dedicates himself to making these incredible drawings on different beaches around the world. These are gigantic and require a drone to capture all the work done. Great job, Jahan. 20. As kids, we have strange ideas. A few years ago in Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, protagonist Flynn had the wild idea to build a mansion out of gelatin. Maybe after seeing this, you wondered what would happen if you dove into a pool filled with gelatin. YouTuber Mark Rober decided to answer our questions by filling a whole pool with gelatin. The results were pretty good, since for a while you could float and not drown in a sugary hell. Before I leave, hello to the subscribers. First of all, a big shout out to Oscar Valerio, then another shout out to Jorge Madronello, another big shout out to Minacito. I also send a big shout out to Isilo Autista. Then I send a big shout out to Agustin Revitas, and another shout out to Lucas Montes. And finally, I'm going to send a shout out to Londra Camille Lorenzo, whom I owed a greeting for a long time. Big shout out to Seba Gonzalez, greetings to Fadriban Jr., and lastly to legend Sergio Sanchez. Leave a like, comment anything, and share the channel and video with your friends. So now more kisses, sir. Mr. Curiosity, remember to subscribe and click the bell to catch all new videos. I'm Semi Mr. Curiosity.